So in his letter, Paul says, be strong in the grace that is in Christ Jesus. You know, we run by these things and we don't think about what Paul is saying, and we don't think about what we're saying. Be strong in the grace. How do you do that? Do you think grace is strong? Do you see anybody in the gym lifting and you say, hey, what's your goal here, friend? You go, I want to be as strong as grace. You and I think grace is what happens when you give in, right? You have an annoying friend who talks too much, but you don't interrupt. Why? Because you're gracious. You have somebody who is making demands on you, but you don't respond in anger. You instead help them out anyway. Why? Because you are gracious. That's what graceful people do. That's what gracious people do. That's how we act. We're not demanding. We're not confrontive. We let other people have their way. That's what most of us think grace is. Well, either Paul's made a serious mistake here, or he knows something we don't. How in the world can you be strong in grace? Well, probably the best person to define that is Jesus himself. We have seen him. The Bible tells us he was here, full of grace and truth. Grace and truth. Now, there's something to this word. Most of us think of grace as how Jesus responds to us. It's unmerited favor. He loves us even though we don't deserve it. He wants to be with us even though we're not worthy, okay? And all of that is true. But here's something about grace that not many of us think too much about. It is grace that allows Jesus to bear our woundedness, to bear our wickedness. It is grace strong enough to scoop up all of your mistakes, all of my failures, and hold them to his heart while he dies on the cross. It is grace that makes the shepherd go look for the lost sheep. It's the grace that keeps pushing that shepherd until he finds the lost sheep. It's grace that pushes Jesus to come find you and to scoop up all of your foolishness, all of your mistakes, and start weaving them into the story of his redemption of you, of his redemption of me. It's not just giving in and let people having their way. It is loving the person so fiercely you will bear whatever it takes. 1 Corinthians 13, love bears all things. Grace. Paul says, here's what I want you to do as a minister of the living God in his church. I want you to be strong enough to bear it, to carry it the same way that Jesus carried it for us. So this Monday, we're going to start with a hard one. Are you strong in grace? Do you want to be strong in grace? It's the one thing that Paul wants to happen in Timothy's life. Be strong in grace. That's a hard one, isn't it? I'll give you about 60 seconds to think about it. And I'll see you tomorrow.